What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR Garage. My name is Justin. In today's video, we're going to show you how to properly clean and re-oil your cotton-based high-performance air filter. Now, the air filter that we're going to use for our cleaning demonstration today is actually the S&B cold air intake filter that I bought for my Ford 7.3 Powerstroke diesel truck. We did the installation of this cold air intake a little while back. You can check out the link in the description or hopefully on one of the cards here if you want to check that out. This is a cotton-based filter. It does require regular cleaning and re-oiling. So it's an oil-based filter. You actually put oil onto the outside of the filter, which helps to improve the performance and filter the air going into the engine. S&B actually has a cleaning kit for their own filters, which I'm showing right here. Again, this stuff you can find in the description down below if you're interested in buying these products. Included in the cleaning kit is a bottle of the cleaning solution. You'll use this to spray all over your filter when it's dirty and ready for cleaning. This will help dislodge any of the junk in the filter as well as break down the old oil and the dirt and the grime. It also comes with a bottle of fresh oil, which again you'll use to actually apply to your air filter after it's cleaned and dried. And then a little application tube as well, so you can precisely measure just how much oil your filter needs so you don't over oil the filter. So we're gonna jump into getting the filter cleaned. It's a pretty simple process. Basically spray the solution all over the filter, let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes, rinse off the filter with a water hose, spray the solution on again, maybe 1 or 2 more times depending on how dirty it is, rinse it off thoroughly, get it nice and clean, and then you want to let it sit for at least 24 hours, set it out in the sun, in the daylight, and make sure it gets totally dry before you actually put the new oil on. Once it's dry, you follow the instructions for your particular filter and apply the oil onto the filter. Let's go ahead and get started with the process. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. If you have an air compressor, it's a good idea to blow off any loose particles on the filter. If not, no big deal. You can kind of tap the filter on the ground, tap it with your hand and knock off any of the loose debris. As you can see what came off of my filter for this cleaning. We're going to take it to the yard and thoroughly apply the cleaning solution. Don't worry about overdoing it here. You really want to soak that oil and the dirt and grime in the cleaning solution and let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes before we take it out to the hose, and then we'll start rinsing off the dirt, grime, and the cleaning solution. You want to hose it off from both the inside as well as the outside. If you hose it out from the inside, you can kind of see all of the dirt and the grime falling off. We'll give it one final rinse here, and do remember, depending on how dirty your filter is, you may need to repeat the cleaning and rinsing process a couple times. Set the filter out to dry for at least 24 hours. It needs to be thoroughly and completely dry before we oil it up. Now that we're ready to oil, the first thing we're going to do is fill up my little applicator bottle to the appropriate amount of oil. For my particular filter, it needs 91 grams of oil. So we'll fill it up to the 91 mark, which is right about here on the tube. With our applicator full of oil, we're gonna grab our filter, and what we're gonna do is take the applicator and apply some oil around the filter like this, where my finger is going, about 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch away from the rubber edge on the filter. So we're gonna start there, go around the filter completely a few times, and then after that, we're actually gonna take it and go up and down the actual ridges on the filter, go all the way around. Once we have that done, we're gonna go back and do the filter, applying the oil around it all the way around again, and just separate it by 1 inch or 2 and go all the way around the filter till we cover the whole filter. It'll make a little bit more sense as we get going here, but let's go ahead and get started. So we're just lightly squeezing the applicator and squirting it into the filter. Now we'll go and put a light bit of oil across each of the pleats. And again, make sure you're not overdoing it. You don't want to over oil the filter. We'll go ahead and do that. We're going to go back and apply the oil around the diameter of the filter again, now spacing it out every inch or so down the filter until we get to the bottom. So we'll go ahead and do that. And you'll notice as I continue to do this, the oil is bleeding down into the filter and filling up the cotton, or basically soaking into the cotton as we go further and further. So by this point, you should be getting down to about the last bit of your oil. You don't necessarily need to use all of the oil on the filter. Again, you do not want to over oil the filter. But at this point, we're gonna let the filter sit for about 10 minutes and let things absorb into the cotton, and then see where we have any gaps in the coverage. You can kind of see some of the white lines around here where we're probably gonna need to put a little bit more oil on and fill in those gaps or those places that didn't get enough coverage. We're gonna let this soak in for about 10 or 15 minutes and then finish it off. Now we've waited a good 15 minutes or so, and you can see that the oil has now soaked in to the filter pretty good. We've got some lighter coverage areas right here, a little bit on this side as well, but overall pretty good coverage. So we're gonna go ahead and hit those areas that are a little bit lighter and complete the coverage of the filter. Now the areas that we touched up have soaked into the filter, so you can see we have pretty good coverage across the filter now. You may end up with some leftover oil, and again, that's not a big deal. You do not want to over oil the filter. So just when you get enough coverage all the way around and there's no more white spots showing up on the filter, you should be good to go. Now we can go ahead and install the filter back into the air intake, and we should be good for another year or so, give or take. Just depends on how dirty the filter gets, how quickly it gets dirty, and the usage of the particular vehicle where the filter lives. Thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please leave them down below. I would love to hear from you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing and turning on your notifications below as well. Stay up to speed with new content as it comes out. Stay safe out there, everybody. I am checking out, and we'll talk to you all next time.